Okay, this is a screen capture from what the discussion thread is going to tell you to do. We're going to discuss this also this evening, so that way you'll understand this a little bit better, but I wanted to go ahead and give you just a quick tutorial on what you could do if you wanted to start this before we meet tonight at 5 o'clock. So it says, please introduce yourself to the class. You know, your introduction must include the following, but it's not limited to these bullet points. I'd like to know information about yourself, your teaching endorsement that you're working towards, the technology level that you feel you're at, whether you're using a Mac or a PC. And the reason for asking that is that there are different ways that the application will work with a Mac or a PC. So if I know that there are some people in the class that are using a Mac, I can make certain that I can tailor the instructions to match both Mac and PC. And just for your information, I do have a Mac, so if you have questions, you'll be able to contact me through either email, voicemail, you can text me on my cell phone, call me, and then we'll also have Mondays available if people need time. So we'll talk more about that this evening. If you have access to a webcam, that's important because we're going to be using Google Hangouts, and that's going to be specifically for some interactions we're going to do, as well as if you were wanting to get assistance with something on your computer but didn't want to come to the university, we could do a Google Hangout, and I'd be able to see what's going on with your computer and how it looks and is displaying itself when you access whatever it is we're doing. The other thing is if you've ever taken an online course and where you've taken the online course from. And if possible, attach a picture of yourself so the classmates that don't know you will know who you are. So if you look below that information, I've also said that, I've given you a link for YouTube to show you how to do this. This FOSS Hub, / Audacity is a web page that takes you to other types of Audacity links. Audacity is what you're going to use to record your introduction. Now the link I've given you right there that's attached to that web page is the one that'll take you to the PC version of it. A Mac version has the extension of .dmg, and that page also has that. And again, we'll talk about that this evening in more detail. There's also the LAME encoder, which allows you to be able to export your file. Initially, it'll be in a project format, so if you complete it and it has a .aup, that means that you have not exported it. It needs to be either a .mp3, a .wav file in order for it to be listened by everybody, audible. Okay, so what I've done here is I've already downloaded the file. And as you can see, it says audacity.win-2.1.0.exe. Again, this is for the PC. So I double click on that and I click run. And it'll take a second depending upon your internet connection and whether or not your computer is a little sluggish or not, because sometimes that is also due to the fact that you are haven't cleaned up your computer in a while. So you should get this type of message, and it says, do you want to allow the following program from an unknown publisher to make changes to this computer? Say yes. And now it's going to ask you what language. Of course, we're going to select English. Say OK. The next page is prompting you to do the setup wizard, and that's what I want you to do. So do next. You have to you're supposed to read this information, and you can if you want to. It tells you about that's a free open source recording and editing sound program, and the license is also free. It automatically finds the program file where you keep most of your files. So you don't want to change that. Just let it default to the normal setting. Click Next. It says that I already have the file, which I do. So I want to install it anyway. So I'm going to say yes. And I want to create a desktop icon. And then I'm going to install it. And again, it's going to take a minute or two, depending upon your computer's speed, functioning, due to various factors. Now it's really critical that once you get to the end of these steps that you follow this tutorial very closely, because this will make the difference between the file getting loaded correctly or incorrectly. As you can see, it's going along fairly fast. Okay, so now again it's going to prompt you to click Next. So now you can see it says that it's completed and it asks you if you want to launch it. We don't want to launch it just yet. You want to leave it just like that. Now I've downloaded the lame encoder already from the Word document that I had all the information for your assignment. So I'm going to double click on that. And it says that obviously because it's in a zip file, so I need to go back to the page that I had. So you see it says, let's go back to lame encoder. It's on the page that we were on. I clicked on the Audacity for Windows. Again, I'm working in Windows right now, and I wanted all other downloads, which would take me to the lame encoder page. So I'm going to click on this page that says lame. And this is where it gets a little bit dicey, because as you can see, there's a lot of information on this page. It just goes through a bunch. That's why I usually just download the file and give you that file to go ahead and use rather than have you go to this. But I wanted you to see what it looked like. So you can do here it shows you the EXE, which stands for executable, or the zip. I always recommend the EXE because that way it goes right to what you want. So I've clicked on that. And as you can see at the bottom, it comes up with, run or save. Well, I'm going to save it because I want to be able to give that to the class for your download. So I'm going to save it on my desktop. Again, you can see it says application.exe, which is what we want. I'm clicking save. So that'll save. That's what again the file you're going to get. I'm going to do the same with both the Mac and the PC, so that way you have, those of you that may be using a Mac will have the exact one that you need. Okay, so it's downloaded to my desktop. I'm going to click Run. Now again, it'll go to some of the same things that we went through with the Audacity file. It's going to ask if I want to, allow the program to make changes to my computer. Yes, I do. And it comes up with Welcome to the Lame Setup Wizard. Click Next. Click Next. Again, it's going to tell you that the files are going to a default folder. Accept that. Install it. Okay. Now you should click Finish on the lame side. So then we're going to open up Audacity, and we're going to click Finish. Now, if you had clicked Finish and opened up Audacity before you had clicked the lame encoder, you wouldn't have gotten the information you needed. And you may get these files that are not on your computer. These are plugins. You need to click OK, so that way you have the right ones on your computer. And again, the sequence of how you do this is critical. The lame encoder has to be completed before you bring up Audacity. So we're going to test this to see if it works. So if I click on the record button, and I just do testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3, I stop it. I go up to File, and if I have export, which you can see, this is grayed out, but this export audio, obviously I've selected it correctly. See where it says MP3? I could also do WAV, which will get you what you need. I prefer the MP3 just because it just works well. So I'm just going to, I would have you do introduction and then put your name. I'll put introduction, Dr. Massey, and then click Save. That would be saved to your desktop. And then you get this information here. Just don't have to worry about putting anything in there. Just click OK. Let it do its default values. Okay, we'll minimize all of this and minimize this. And you might get that message, I reinstalled my Java. If you get that, what you'd want to do is do uninstall so you can remove the old versions and then install the current ones. Okay, so let's look for my introduction. Okay, now what it looks like is that it didn't, for some reason, didn't save right. So we'll go back and do it again. And I'm just going to do intro, so that way. And I think what it did was, you saw that I had a period in between Dr. and Massey. It doesn't like any characters. So you want to make sure that you don't put a dash or a period or anything. Just run your name together with the word intro or introduction. I'll go ahead and minimize this. Now, as you can see the difference between this introduction, which is the wrong one, which I'm going to get rid of it because I had, again, the period there. You can see that. And then this works right, and we'll double click on it so you can hear that it did do what it's supposed to do. Okay. I'll make sure my volume is up where it needs to be. And I just do testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so as you can see, that worked. That's as simple as the process is. Again, we'll go over this class tonight, but I wanted to post this for you. Make sure, again, that if you do try to do this before class tonight, that if you're on a Mac, you use the Mac files, and the Mac files will have an extension of .dmg. Windows files will be .exe. I look forward to seeing everybody this evening. I hope you have a great day.